What did I tell you, bro? All of life is a paradox. In order for you to have control over life, you need to let go control. In order for you to actually like control your whole life, you just have to stop thinking. Just cut thinking out. When you cut thinking, then your life shifts to a better place, a place that you actually want. I mean, think about it. It's truly all just a paradox. Like, in order for you to attain whatever goal you want, you have to first of all not care about the goal as much, and then the goal is gonna come. In order for you to get to heaven, to get to Jannah, you have to first go down, like humble yourself, and then you get to heaven. And what's so funny is the opposite is true. Like in order for you to get to hell, well, you have to be like arrogant, like super high, and then you get to hell. Everything is a paradox. And so this is what I learned. It's like in order for you to get control over your whole life, to basically see a shift happening into your life, you have to first of all let go. And for you to let go, stop thinking. That's all you have to do. So if you want to solve any problem that you have, the less you think about the problem, the more you solve it. Every one of you guys, like even my family, to be honest, my whole family, we're just a bunch of overthinkers. And you know what? I truly feel like thinking is like a disease, an addiction that is more people are addicted more to thinking than any other drug. Like forget all these other drugs, man. Thinking is the biggest drug. And so what I noticed is that the other day actually today, literally today, I was cutting something and then I cut my finger right here, right? It's not a problem, obviously, but like I cut my finger and I cut it in the morning and now I'm looking at it and I'm like, my finger, I cut it, but now it's almost healed. How was it almost healed? Like I didn't really have to put much brain energy into how am I gonna heal my finger. I didn't have to put like a sticker like a little baby. I didn't have to do anything. All I had to do is just all I had to do is just nothing. And my finger just healed itself. So there's something within you. What I'm trying to say, bro, is that there's something within you that automatically takes care of you. There's a being within you that is running your heart. It's making your heart beat. It's making your kidneys work. It's making your liver work. It's making everything within you work. And so this being within you, you don't really have to be like thinking, turning it on, turning it off. It automatically it just does everything. So your life too, because this being, the same being that's within you, it's within all of life. So any problem that you have, it doesn't matter. It's basically just like a scratch on your body. So in order for you to basically heal a problem outside of you, like outside of life, all you have to do is just do the same thing. Stop thinking because the same being is there and it's also here. And so this was actually a crazy realization that I had to have, just because again, my whole family, all of them are just like a bunch of overthinkers. Like if any problem happens, immediately overthink. Like when was the last time you've lost something and you kept looking for it, you kept looking for it, and as soon as you stopped thinking about it, immediately you found it. And by the way, this is actually a strategy that I use. Anytime like I lose something, I'm like, okay, keep looking, but then stop thinking about it. Don't even think about it. And then just like immediately, as soon as I stop thinking about it, I find it. And by the way, many of you guys know that I play chess. So there's this guy, his name is Magnus Carlsen. If you play chess, you would know who Magnus Carlsen is. Basically, he's like a world champion. So this guy back in the day, he was young, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure all of us were young back in the day. But look, like this guy, he would play people like Gary Kasparov and all those people, like very high level people that they were really good at chess. But this guy, what he used to say is that what he used to do is that he would focus on chess, right? So he would basically, like, you look at him right here, right? He'd basically be sitting down, playing on the board, and so he would put all his brain energy into the board, and then, like, at some point, he would just leave the board and just forget about that he was playing the game. He would forget about the problem, which was the game. And then he would just basically go and like try to look at any other matches, like some other match that people are playing. The whole time he just forgot about that I'm playing chess. And then once he comes back, immediately it's like he just knows the next move. Something within him knows the next move. And so this is the strategy. It's like you would basically, I'm not saying completely stop thinking. I'm saying basically think about whatever problem you have. Think about it and then just let it go. That's it. Just let it go. Just leave it. Forget that the problem is there. And so this is actually a scientific thing that people like. I used to actually read about this so much back in the day when I was like in high school, and they would say it's like if you're trying to get better grades on your exams, like look at a question. If you can't solve it, look at it, spend all your brain energy on it, and then leave it. Go do other questions. What you'll notice is that immediately it's like somehow the answer is going to just come to you immediately. And so this is the thing. It's like this works with everything. When you lose something, put some brain energy, look for it, but then immediately let it go. Don't even do anything on it. And so even a cut like this, like at first when I saw it, I'm like, oh boy, it got hurt. It got hurt. But then I'm like, forget about it, and it just heals itself. And this is for everything, bro. Literally everything. But now the issue is that a lot of you guys, you will have problems in your life that it's so hard to stop thinking about it. Like something will happen to you, and then you live your entire year just thinking about it. And so in that moment, it's like, what are you supposed to do? So what I learned is that if you can't control your mind, so if you can't control yourself mentally, the best thing to do is to basically shock the body. Because listen, when you shock the body, when you move the body around, the mind is just gonna follow. I told you back in the day, it's like even if you had to drink water, you had to go through labor in order to get water. Nowadays, we're just sitting down. So that means your brain, there's so much activity within your brain. So all you have to do is just move the body, and the brain, the activity within the brain is just gonna relax. So here, Habibi, here, I have a few things that you can do in order for you to stop thinking. So obviously, these are not the only things that you have to do to stop thinking. One of them is salat, just because they say if life was like a video game, salat is like the pause button. So if you're like playing a video game, imagine you're just playing a video game, right? And then you just hit the pause button. Well, imagine it's like you can go to settings, you can go like change the options, you can just do anything. You can even just relax, go get a drink. You can just basically relax, and then you can go back to the game and then play the game. And what you'll notice is that you'll play the game even better if you just take a little break from life or game. So salat is basically that. And by the way, if you still don't know how to do proper salat, I made a whole video that I truly feel like it's one of my best videos on the channel. There's not a single channel on YouTube that has such a video. So go on, I'll put it in the description. Just basically go on that video, learn how to do salat properly. I'm not a sheikh, I'm not a scholar. I just basically took all the things that I love, the things that I learned, and I put it into one video. And then I tried how to do it into my own life. And I noticed I'm like, this is the best way to do salah. So try to do that. If you're a Muslim, you should really watch that. So do salah. It's basically a beautiful way to stop thinking, just because you're using the body, you're using the spirit, you're using the mind, even you're using the breath, by the way. Because you're supposed to actually be focusing on the breath during salah. But most of you guys don't even know that. And then the second thing is this thing that I call the 1 minute meditation. So basically, this is, forget about the word meditation, okay? Just forget about the word meditation. All that this means is that throughout the day, and I always do this, by the way, you can do this like any time throughout the day. It only takes a minute. Throughout the day, I'm just like, my chair makes noises, by the way. I'm just sitting down, right? Or even if I'm standing up, even if I'm driving, whatever, even if I'm about to sleep too. So all I do is that I just drop everything within my brain. So if my brain, I find it like it's very hyperactive, I just drop everything. So I drop the fact that I have a name. I drop the fact that I have a body. I drop the fact that I have emotions, that I have a past, that I have a family, that I have an occupation, that I have everything. I just drop everything. Like I'm not a YouTuber at that point. I'm not a husband at that point. I'm not a son. I'm not a wife. No, I'm not a wife, obviously, but like I'm nothing, right? That's all I am. I'm just basically nothing. So I just sit down into a state of nothingness. And what you'll notice is that in this state of nothingness, think of it like there's like activity, 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 and then for brief moments, 1 minute, there's no activity, just like this, and then you can go pick everything back up. So there's activity once again. It's just that I don't know how or why and the science behind this. I have no studies about this, by the way. There's just life experience. Something happens where it's almost like you let the world shift in your favor. It's like you basically stop coloring the world with your emotions. So it's almost like you let go and you let Allah do the driving for you. So it's like, again, if you cut yourself, who's the one that's healing you? It's Allah. You're not sitting down healing your body, doing things like changing cells and stuff like that. It's just Allah doing that for you. And Allah is also running your own life too. You're not the one that's running your life, by the way. Allah's running your life. And Allah's running your life better than you're running your life. So then if you just sit down and you stop thinking, you stop everything, you stop all the activity, it's almost like you give back the wheel to Allah. Even though I hate that saying, just because they're like, give the wheel back to Jesus, whatever. But you just basically give the wheel back to Allah. And then once you do that, it's almost like, by the way, when I say Allah, I mean like the creator. So even if you're a Christian, whoever you are, I'm just talking about the creator, the creator. So when you let go and you just leave the wheel to the creator is way better than you. So your life is going to be running based on what the creator thinks is best for you. And the creator knows everything. Everything. Again, we have a pixel. The creator has the whole picture. So you know nothing. So when you stop thinking, you go back to that. What you'll notice too is that as soon as I stop doing that, As soon as I stopped doing that, and by the way, you're supposed to like not even have any expectations. But when I stopped doing that, I just get so excited just because I'm like, I really wonder what's the next thing is gonna happen. It's almost like you truly become excited because you're like, you don't know what's going to happen next, and you're not predicting what's going to happen next because you don't know what's going to happen next. So anything that happens next is something that's fresh, it's new, because at this point, again, you're not coloring the world with emotions of the past or like your thinking or your paradigm or your beliefs. You're just being. That's all you're doing. You're just being. You're doing nothing, and you're just being. That's all. And that's actually a beautiful state to be in. And the goal is to basically have the state throughout the entire day. I mean, just imagine the entire day you're just being. You're not thinking. You're just being. And you know what? That's how babies are, by the way. Babies, they don't think. They're just being. They're just observing everything. They're like if you truly go back to a state of a baby, you look at the world as it truly is, and the world as it truly is beautiful. It's beauty itself because who created it? The most beautiful has created it. That's the beauty of it. But anyway, so this right here is the 1 minute meditation. The next one is basically do 500 push-ups daily. This one I talked about it in my previous video. I said how push-ups, man. Forget about how push-ups are supposed to help your body, give you a nice chest and all that stuff. Push-ups is just you going down, going up, going down, going up. And so don't even have to do it in like proper form. Just do it in whatever form. As long as you get to like 500, even if it's like quarter reps, it's fine. But the thing with this is that it teaches you that even if you go down, you always go back up because you're the one that's able to go back up. And so again, when you move the body, when the body is moved, the mind is going to be still. So if you can't control the body, if you can't control the mind, actually, it's because you're not controlling the body. And so imagine like your body is a dog and you're the one that's supposed to be controlling it. So tell your body, go work out. And then once you destroy your body, the mind immediately just like it relaxes. They say a mind is a beautiful slave, but a terrible master. So make your mind your slave. This whole thing, by the way, remember, because you're not the body, you're the soul. You're the soul that has a body. You're not a body that has a soul. You're a soul that has a body. So this body, make it your dog, bro. Like make this body your slave. And then once you make it your slave, you'll notice that this is the best vehicle that you've been given. But anyway, this next one is 10-second springs, but I actually meant to say sprints. It's the 10-second sprints. There's something about sprints. By the way, if my brother is watching this video right now, he's gonna tell you that, oh, I sprinted with him and I beat him 8 times out of 9, blah blah blah. It's true, he did beat me, but listen. Sprinting, bro, sprinting is so good. If you do sprinting, not only is like your growth hormone increases in those brief minutes that you're sprinting in, but it'll give you like almost like a feeling of high. You know, back in the day, people like our ancestors, they used to always sprint because they had to hunt, right? So they would always be sprinting. So this thing is like it's within us. We're supposed to be beings that sprint. Also, think about it. Have you ever seen? Let me show you actually. So this right here is like the best analogy. I always look at this. I'm like, look at this. This right here is a sprinter. This right here is a jogger. So, like, bro, sprinters automatically are just gonna have muscle. There's people on Twitter that say it's like when they were younger, they would not be lifting at all, but they would be sprinting, and they looked so jacked compared to a jogger. Like I know this guy is older than this guy, but still, it's like just sprinting in general, man. Sprinting is very good for you. So sprint for the way I do it is just basically like 10-second sprints and then rest like a minute, minute and a half, and then sprint once again. So what I do with my brother now is that we're basically racing. We're racing for 10 to 20 seconds, and then we're resting for like minute, minute and a half, and then we sprint once again 8 more times. That's basically it. There's a doctor, I think his name is Dr. Berg on YouTube, who even talked about this. He says like the best thing to do if you want to increase your growth hormone. So it's 10-second sprints, and once again, it's like, what are you doing? It's like you're shocking the body for a few moments, and so as a result, you'll notice that even your mind is gonna relax. It's not gonna have too much activity in your brain. The next one is basically barking. Barking, bro, it's so good for you. Back in the day, anytime I would have no energy, I would basically bark because once again, it shocks the whole body. When you shock the body, when you give it like a burst of energy, the mind immediately it's just gonna relax. And that's one way to stop thinking. Also, by the way, you do any of these things, you'll notice that you do them, and then your energy is going to increase because once again, when you stop the thinking, energy increases. Why is that, by the way? Why is it that when your mind is not thinking, your energy increases? It's because think about it. That's funny, right? That's not a pun though. Think about it. If you're thinking all the time, you're using so much energy, so you're burning calories just basically thinking. You know, chess players, they actually burn calories just by thinking. But then when you stop the thinking, when you just be, don't think anymore, immediately it's like you'll notice there's like a reservoir, a river of energy that you've been basically you somehow you stop getting access to it, and then once you stop thinking, you get access back to this reservoir of energy. Reservoir, bro, that's a new word. The next one is dhikr. So dhikr, it doesn't matter what type of dhikr you do. Just go on Google, go on YouTube, type in types of dhikr, and just sit down. It's like a form of meditation, really. Sit down, do some dhikr, and you'll notice it's like at the end of that, like you'll feel, bro, you'll feel so much energy. And by the way, why is it that this is a way to stop thinking? Because once again, if you're going to be doing dhikr, you're supposed to actually be putting all your attention on the dhikr that you're doing. So eventually, what you'll notice is that your thinking is going to stop too. And then the last one is basically focusing on your breath. So any moment you're living, this right here, you're supposed to also include it within the 1 minute meditation. Because basically, in the 1 minute meditation, you're supposed to be focusing on the breath. Because when you focus on the breath, you're back to the present moment. You're not thinking of the past, you're not thinking of the future. You're just here once again. And so once you're here, there's no more thinking. That's it. There's literally no more thinking because here is just here. It's just being. That's all it is. Now, obviously, these are not the only things that you have to do to stop thinking. I'm pretty sure after this whole video right now, I'm gonna be like, oh, I missed one of them. I missed one of them. But that's okay. By the way, are you in my Discord, bro? Just get on my Discord because I actually talk a lot about these things, especially on the live calls that we have every week. But anyway, so this right here, these are ways to stop thinking. You'll notice, man, once you stop thinking, your energy increases, your life shifts, like your mind's gonna have so much more clarity. Everything, bro. You'll just become like such a beautiful being because that's what you truly are, man. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, just let me know, bro.